The conflict began with a brutal clash between two ancient races. The Wolf clan launched an aggressive raid with a single goal: to seize the mysterious clothes belonging to Selina's daughter. These garments were no ordinary items, as they carried rare bloodline traces that could alter the balance of power. During the violent confrontation, both sides suffered heavy losses, but in the chaos, the clothes ultimately fell into the hands of Lian, the Wolf clan's chief doctor. Fascinated by their structure, Lian began examining the unusual blood vessels embedded within the fabric. His research revealed shocking possibilities, leading him to believe the clothes could help the wolves rise above all other species and dominate the world. However, the plan did not unfold smoothly. Selina, risking everything, managed to rescue her daughter with the secret assistance of Great Wei, a powerful vampire elder. Their intervention disrupted the wolf experiment and completely shattered Lian's ambition. From that moment on, the fragile balance between vampires and wolves collapsed, triggering an endless war that would last for generations. The reason was simple. Selina's daughter carried the last direct bloodline of Alexander, the legendary ghost wolf. Her blood possessed the rare power to end the war itself. Fearing exploitation, Selina made the painful choice to hide her daughter in a location even she could not consciously remember. The wolves quickly tightened their net. Their leader ordered his men to capture Selina alive, forcing them to avoid reckless gunfire. Surrounded and exhausted from years of non-stop fighting, Selina was beaten and restrained, pushed to the edge of collapse. Yet desperation awakened her survival instinct. When lightning struck nearby, the sudden flash caused a rocket launcher lodged in the trees to fall, instantly killing several wolves below. Chaos erupted. Wolves, who had just completed their transformation, were crushed moments later when a speeding vehicle slammed into the battlefield. The driver stepped out. It was Selina. Against all odds, she had pulled David back from death once again. David, still young and reckless, admired Selina deeply and often looked for excuses to prove himself. Catching his breath, he warned her that the wolves had deliberately avoided killing her. Their real objective was not revenge, but the clothes tied to her daughter. According to David, the newly crowned wolf clan leader, Mares, was far more dangerous than his predecessors. Ruthless and ambitious, Mares believed Selina's daughter's blood was the final key to winning the war. He was prepared to sacrifice everything and everyone to obtain it. Selina understood one thing clearly: the hunt had only just begun. Soon after, Tywin was summoned to the Eastern Vampire stronghold. To understand the gravity of this meeting, it's necessary to explain the vampire hierarchy at the time. The Blood Clan was divided into several branches: the Western branch, where Tywin belonged, the Eastern branch, and the Northern European branch. Among them, the Eastern branch was the most powerful and influential. It was governed by a ruling council, responsible for all major decisions, led by the cold and calculating Cassius. Among the council members was Samira, a newly promoted figure with a complicated past. She had once served as Victor's assistant, but after Victor adopted Selina, Samira's influence sharply declined. This resentment quietly grew into hatred. When Selina later killed Victor, the council issued an execution order, and Samira became one of its most aggressive enforcers. The moment Tywin entered the castle, Samira wasted no time. She arranged a private meeting, bringing her father and 4 trusted guards. Tywin noticed several urns filled with ashes resting nearby, silent evidence of a recent massacre. The Eastern branch had suffered heavy losses, while Tywin's Western branch had already been nearly wiped out by constant wolf attacks. Samira revealed the truth without hesitation. The Wolf clan, now led by Mares, was rapidly rising. The situation had become critical. The Wolf clan's resurgence posed a direct threat to the Blood clan's survival. On top of that, humans had begun large-scale purges, and the deaths of 3 elder vampires left the clan severely weakened. Although many young warriors had been trained, most lacked real battlefield experience. Against Mares' brutal forces, they stood little chance. The council desperately needed a leader capable of turning raw recruits into true killers. Samira spoke at length, warning that if the Blood clan continued to hesitate, they would be completely annihilated within 5 years. Tywin, growing impatient with the empty speeches, finally interrupted. He demanded the real reason for the secret meeting. Samira then revealed her true intention. She knew Selena shared a deep bond with Tywin's son. Using that connection, Samira hoped Tywin would persuade Selena to return east and personally train a new unit of elite Deathwalkers. If successful, hundreds of lethal warriors could be formed to confront Mers directly. At that moment, Tywin understood the deeper meaning behind Samira's words. Lowering her voice, she confessed that in 1,500 years, their clan had never experienced a true evolution. Just as the tension peaked, Samira suddenly asked a dangerous question. Was it true that Selena's blood could resurrect the dead? Samira's question cut straight to the truth. She asked whether David, who had once died, was brought back to life by Selena's blood. Tywin did not deny it. Seeing his silence as confirmation, Samira immediately revealed a proposal she had clearly prepared long in advance. She claimed she was willing to risk everything for the future of the clan and Selena herself. If Selena agreed to return, the Eastern Branch would provide sanctuary for the remaining Western vampires, who were already on the brink of extinction. For the struggling West, this offer was the only possible lifeline. Samira then guided Tywin toward a portrait hanging quietly on the wall. Amelia. Tywin's gaze softened in a way that betrayed hidden memories. The East had once been Amelia's homeland. Sensing his hesitation, Samira gently probed, hinting at an extraordinary past between Tywin and Amelia. After a long silence, Tywin finally made his decision. For the survival of the clan, he agreed to help convince the conservative elders. Soon after, council leader Cassius formally approved Selena's recall and placed her in charge of training the Deathwalkers. Meanwhile, abandoned facilities were repurposed into wolf traps, signaling preparations for total war. While the vampires reorganized, the wolf clan continued its own ruthless expansion. A heated argument broke out among the wolves until a single figure stepped forward, instantly silencing the crowd. It was Mers. His presence alone carried overwhelming authority. He issued a strict order: until the eastern vampires were completely eliminated, no mercy would be shown. One wolf nervously reported that Selena had escaped again, the same one she had spared earlier. Furious, Mers accused his subordinates of incompetence and questioned whether they believed the enemy's words. The wolves quickly defended themselves, explaining that although the capture failed, they had secretly planted a tracking bullet inside Selena's companion. Satisfied, Mares ordered the hunt to continue. Later, he entered a hidden chamber and opened a locked container. Inside were only 2 vials of rare blood. Without hesitation, Mers injected one into his body. Closing his eyes, he felt immense power spread through his veins, transforming him further beyond normal wolves. Meanwhile, Selena brought the wounded David to a safe house. Using advanced equipment, she discovered the real reason his wound wouldn't heal. The bullet inside was still moving, suppressing vampire regeneration. Without hesitation, Selena performed a brutal extraction, finally stopping the damage. The removed bullet revealed its true purpose. It was a specialized tracking device. Selena knew the wolves would locate them soon. As they prepared to leave, the safe house alarm suddenly blared. Armed intruders stormed inside, but they were swiftly taken down one by one. Selena emerged from the shadows, weapon drawn, effortlessly subduing the attackers. To her surprise, they were vampires. Their leader explained that the Eastern Council had officially revoked Selena's execution order. They had come to escort her back east. Not long after, Tywin himself arrived, urging Selena to accept. He admitted the clan needed her strength to train a new generation capable of standing against Mers. Selena was skeptical. She knew the vampire elite were skilled manipulators. However, David confirmed his father's sincerity and assured her that the council's stance had genuinely changed. He argued that constantly hiding would only allow Mers to tighten his grip. Taking the initiative was the only way to end the cycle. As Selena weighed the choice, the alarm sounded again, proof the wolves were closing in. Finally, she made her decision. Selena agreed to return east with the vampire escort, fully aware that this path would drag her into the heart of another deadly conspiracy. Upon arriving at the Eastern Castle, Selena was met by rows of newly recruited vampire warriors awaiting her command. Samira personally introduced her to Varga, a feared veteran who had eliminated over 40 elite wolves. He would assist Selena in shaping the recruits into lethal fighters. To celebrate her return, Samira organized a lavish banquet, displaying the arrogance of vampire nobility even in times of crisis. Despite the luxury, Selena felt detached. During the dance, Samira deliberately approached David, placing a hand on his shoulder and whispering provocatively. She openly questioned him about Selena's blood and its rumored ability to restore life. David admitted the truth he owed his existence to Selena. Tywin immediately intervened, pulling his son aside and warning him to keep his distance. He later confirmed to Samira that Selena's blood was indeed a miracle, capable of reviving the dead. Samira was stunned. What she once believed to be legend was now undeniable fact. That night, she secretly conspired with Varga. Although training the Deathwalkers had originally been Varga's role, Selena's arrival threatened his authority. Resentment quietly grew, and a plan against Selena began to take shape beneath the castle's polished stone floors. Varga's pride could not tolerate being overshadowed. His family openly challenged Selena's authority, masking hostility behind fake respect. When Samira pretended her shoe was loose, Varga humiliatingly knelt to assist her, reinforcing his loyalty. The next morning, Selena began training the recruits. After carefully observing their skills, she explained a critical weakness of werewolves the moment after full transformation. During that phase, their minds are consumed by bloodlust, making their movements reckless and predictable. Varga immediately objected. He called everyone together and boldly claimed Selena's strategy was flawed. To prove his point, he publicly challenged her to demonstrate combat techniques inside a confined space. The atmosphere turned tense as all eyes locked onto Selena. Without hesitation, she accepted. They stepped into a reinforced steel arena. What Selena didn't realize was that this challenge was never about training. Every move, every insult, every provocation was part of a carefully planned trap. While she prepared to teach, her enemies were already setting the stage for betrayal, one that could change the fate of the entire war.